Dave Krieger. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Listen to the Krieger Files and learn from your mistakes. It's the government's worst nightmare. Dave Krieger.
Okay, here we are on this Thursday edition. Open phone lines today, 844-769-2944. If you want to chat about what's on your mind. And I mean, it's open. If you're a first-time caller, hey, don't be shy, don't bite. We welcome everybody. We have to have dialogue here in America. That's what's going to heal us. Because right now, everybody's been pointing fingers at each other and telling each other to shut up. And I think it's about time that we got to listen to people. This is going to be a big problem if we don't. We have to listen to other people's opinions, and we have to ask the proverbial question, why do you have that opinion? Where are you getting your information from so others may vet it and learn? Change my mind about stuff. I mean, it's okay. If I'm wrong, man, call me on it. Tell me why. Seriously, I mean, that's what it's all about, is trying to find the truth, right? And we don't want to keep repeating past mistakes. That's another thing. If anything, you're going to make a New Year's resolution, it would be not to do the definition of insanity, which is expecting the same. See, this is why you don't, for the next 10 years, doing the same mistakes we made the last 10 years. That's what that's all about. Yeah, that's a definition of insanity. Repeating the same mistakes, thinking, it's going to be any different. You can't just keep doing the same thing, which is one of the reasons why the Democrat Party is flipping out over Trump. As a matter of fact, another Democratic Minnesota Senator, Tina Smith, said she's not going to seek re-election to his second term. In a shock announcement, she was elected to the Senate in 2018, the second Democratic incumbent behind Michigan Senator Gary Peters, that says he's likely to face a tough re-election contest, announced his retirement January 28th. So there you have it. Now, if we could get Mitch McConnell to resign right now, that would be good. And why is that? Well, because McConnell, if you were watching the news media, the alt news media, Tulsi Gabbard got sworn in last night by Attorney General Pam Bondi in Trump's Oval Office. And she, like I said before, and people are asking me, Dave, why are you a little squeamish about it? Well, I watched her take the oath, okay? She raised her hand, put her left hand on the Bible, her husband Abraham was holding, and she raised her right hand and she swore to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America and defend and protect it. And that means against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. And as Director of National Intelligence, that means that she has to vet the information that's coming in to the cabinet to determine whether or not it's bogus or whether or not it's legitimate, and then to pass that information along amongst the agencies. And of course, now we're getting word, and it's not fully confirmed yet, but Pam Bondi is already on this. When she filed the lawsuit against New York, against Kathy Hochul-Yokel and various other people, Letitia James, she deserved that. We're finding out that it may be an inside leak in the FBI that is tipping off the illegals and the states, telling them when the feds are going to come in and do illegal immigrant roundup. And they're getting in the way. They're actually impeding and committing all sorts of, if bringing them into the country is illegal and they're breaking the law, and Biden broke the law, then Biden needs to get prosecuted, and so does Mayorkas Dorcas. So you got Hochul-Yokel and Mayorkas Dorcas. You got that? So yeah, that's my pet names for him. It's like Pelosi. I just call her It, because she looks like Michael Jackson wannabe on a bad makeup day. So you have to wonder why these people are still in office. Well, all about the gravy. It's all about the money. How much money they made in kickbacks, it's that way. And I just wonder how much money the governor's office in New York took in over these illegal immigrants. I mean, what, 59 million just went from FEMA to pay for all of these people. And now what we're understanding is that Kristi Noem is clawing back all that FEMA money that is being given to house these illegal immigrants in New York City hotels. Good for her. I knew that some sense would come of all this, because here's all these people out there in North Carolina and various other places in California that need assistance and aren't getting it. And it's no wonder that Trump wants to dump FEMA. Kash Patel, by the way, his real name is Kashyap Pramod Vinod Kash Patel. Kashyap. Yeah. No, Kash, we just call him Kash. I met him. He's a great guy. I like him. We got one of his books. He wrote his children's book. More people should do stuff like that. We like his book. My wife personally got him to sign it. We like his book. The thing is that when we met him, we were convinced that he was good people, and boy, he just scared the hell out of the left. They finally advanced his nomination 12-10, so it now goes to the full Senate for a vote. And I can guarantee you that Mitch the Bitch McConnell, who needs to just leave office right now, he's going to vote against Kash Patel's nomination. It's just the way it is. And of course, RFK Jr. has been confirmed by the full Senate, 52-48. And of course, who voted against him? Mitch the Bitch from Kentucky. Yeah, previous polio survivor, right? He's voiced concerns about Kennedy's vaccine views and all that other good stuff. And just, one of those things that you have to be concerned about. And so, he was the only one to cast a no vote. He voted against Gabbard. He voted against RFK Jr., and he's probably going to vote against Kash. They're all scared that they're going to get beat up on. That's what they're scared of, that we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to get to the real truth of things. So now we know that RFK Jr. is on his way probably to the White House. They want to get him sworn in as soon as possible so he can go in and start. And I could tell you, this is what's going to happen. He's going to go in and he's going to have meetings with his underlings. Once he gets in there, he's got to have this little, week or so to get acclimated. It's not going to take him long. And he's going to start eliminating positions in the CDC, the NIH, the FDA. He's going to start cleaning house. All these agencies that he's in charge of with this multi-billion-dollar budget, he's going to start cleaning house. Now, he is, of course, involved with Children's Health Defense. And he's also, I don't believe that he's anti-vax. He's already said that. It's just that, the thing is the common sense with the vaccines went out the window. And he hates Fauci. And if anything's going to happen, all of these medical agencies out there that have been putting this mRNA crap out are going to be dealt with by RFK Jr. That is going to happen. Once he gets sworn in, all hell's going to break loose in the medical sector. Now, is he going to be able to go out and bash on these medical boards? Is he going to be able to stop these big payouts to these people to continue to pontificate how wonderful and safe and effective these mRNA-related jabs are? No, he's got to cut off their funding. He's in control. Once he gets sworn in, and that's going to happen pretty damn quick. I'll tell you what, PDQ is what they call it, right? So anyway, the lawsuit against Letitia James and everything is all because of the fact that they're screwing with immigration reform, which means that, we're not going to tolerate it. I would love to see Pam Bondi send the troops out, and she can send agent officials and whatnot out. She can direct the FBI and the Department of Justice to seek indictments against Hochul Yokel, against Letitia James, and turnabout's fair play. Because, if they're going to sit there and green light all these illegal immigrants and then have $59 million worth of FEMA money given to the people in New York, hotels, to house these illegals, time to clean house. Now, they forgave, basically, they pardoned Eric Adams, right? The mayor of New York City. Yeah, talking about the boy from New York City. Yeah, they got rid of him as far as his illegal charges go. And he did that because, the Biden administration went after. I'm talking about Trump seeking pardon against Adam. They dropped the charges. That's what they did. It's got rid of it. So we don't need to be prosecuting him because he's going to turn out to be the good guy. He's going to come to his senses. That's what they think. Now, if Eric Adams goes out and he starts doing this green light garbage, well, they'll come after him on a different theory, right? Different legal theory. And this is the thing. The border czar, Tom Homan, is the one, according to him and Kristi Noem, that the FBI is leaking. That's what it looks like. That's what he said. He got together with Kristi Noem. They suggested the recent leaks have been leaked by the FBI. Somebody inside the FBI is still loyal to Biden, and they want to know who it is. And my understanding is they're going to go after and they're going to prosecute and put them in jail. That was the term that was used by Pam Bondi. They're going to put him in jail. And I think Kristi Noem's behind it. Everybody's behind it. So they want to get to the bottom of this. All right. If you're out and about later on today, I'm going to be posting a Rumble link because Steve Stern has the Integrity in Action call today at 1:50 Eastern Time on Rumble. And so Stern American is the website, but we're going to actually put Steve Stern up there. And they're going to be talking about election integrity because we need to, you can't sit on your laurels. And Steve will be on the show tomorrow to talk about what was discussed. And if you have phone calls and you want to know how you can get involved, this would be the time to call up. There are people out there that are very frustrated with what's going on with school boards, and the school boards are, some of these school boards you've been reading about lately in the paper have been promoting CRT still. They have been promoting reading books that have pictures of naked people. We have teachers out there. Another one got busted having sex with their students multiple times. This is not going to stop until we start cleaning house and parents decide, hey, my kid's education is more important than having sex with his teacher and reading books that promote LGBTQIA, whatever acronym of the alphabet that you want to talk about. So this is one of the reasons why we talk about stuff on the show, because it's all related to consumerism. So Steve Stern, like I said, will be on tomorrow with us to discuss what's going on. Now I want to talk about the economy a little bit here because that's what everybody wants to know about, because we cover all things legal, financial, and consumer related. New economic data came out yesterday, and we knew it would. It painted a little bit less than I wouldn't say it's the Grim Reaper kind of thing, but it painted a picture nobody wants to see. Last month, inflation climbed higher than was forecast, right? And what caused that? Pricier fuel oil, food, used cars, auto insurance all drove overall consumer prices up by 0.5%. That's a half a point. That's pretty significant. And that happened from December to January, according to the Labor Department. That is the quickest monthly rise since August of 2023. And you see when, and you're talking about the big leading indicator, egg prices spiking by 15.2%. That's a 10-year record to account for 2/3 of the monthly grocery inflation. Price of eggs is up 53% over last year. For those of you who are not in the know, you are now. And the thing is Fed Chair Jerome Powell, he doesn't care. His term is up in 2027. How much damage can they do to the economy? Economist and Mitch McConnell, of course, whatever he can get out of his mouth without slurring and falling over, warning President Trump's tariffs could spike consumer prices. You see, that's how I know he must be a Democrat. He's a rhino, Republican in name only. He must be a Democrat. He is pointing fingers at Trump. Trump is using the tariffs as a bargaining chip. He's got to threaten people, because if he doesn't, people are just going to sit on their butts and continue to play us for fools. He's got to do it. He's got to step outside the box and play this game. And McConnell is such an idiot. He buys into this stuff. He doesn't understand. I mean, that's what, he's getting old when he's sitting there losing his marbles during a speech. That reminds you of somebody we once knew that used to occupy the White House? Yeah. So interest rates, don't look for them to come down anytime soon. Right now, your average mortgage loan is going to cost you 7%. Now, are people freaking out over that? Because we're looking at the situation, and we've got people out there, the naysayers are all saying that at some point in time within the decade, that means 2030. This is the agenda the globalists want, but see, even that's falling apart because people are standing up and they're going, you know what? We've had it with these people. We've had it with this nonsense, this global nonsense, this garbage. And so we're going to have to, this administration is going to have to act fast if they want to stem the tide of nonsense, because that is what the Democrats, Schumer, Jeffries, everybody else, that's what they're pushing. And I don't want to sit there and, act like we should hate them. They just don't know any better. They're not very well educated. They claim to be. But I mean, if they're educated in communism and they think socialism into communism is all that, and that because we're stupid, that's what they think. They think we, the people, are idiots, that we don't know any better, that we eat Tide Pods on a regular basis. That's how they treat us. We elect them. Isn't we the people? Aren't we their masters? Aren't we the ones paying their salary? Don't they work for us? If you have anything to say, 844-769-2944 is the number to call. We're taking your calls all hour today. And of course, with U.S. egg prices, one of the reasons why that is happening with egg prices is because they're culling flocks in the name of prevention. You got to love that. Not one legitimate thing. There's no reason why you can't have a flock of hens laying 10 hens, 1,500 eggs a year. There's no reason why you can't have a flock, because somebody's going to come around and go, oh, they're contaminated with H5N1 bird flu and it'll spread to humans. And see, this is what RFK Jr. is probably going to stop a lot of this, because he's in control of the FDA and the other agencies like the CDC that sit there and scare people into going and taking jabs, the flu shot. And I've told people long ago, up until today, I've told people, look, what do you think is going to happen when you go get a flu shot? You're going to get the flu. It's just like those people that thought all about, oh, they got the COVID jab. What happened? They got COVID. And worse, because what's happening now is they're getting turbo cancers. Talked to one of our listeners yesterday who said his own brother got multiple jabs and boosters, and he had to have a whole bunch of cancer taken off the side of his face, and now he's disfigured. You say, I'm telling you, this is not a smart thing. And see, they're ashamed because they know damn well what caused it, and they're in denial until it hits them in the face like one of those pies on Laughing. Was it that? Oh, it must have been Soupy Sales. That's what I remember, because he used to get the pie in the face all the time. That was his big thing, is getting a pie in the face. It was just a whipped cream pie. It was no big deal, but it looked good. The kids loved it. They all thought it was funny. From what we understand now, as far as what Elon Musk and Doge are doing, and if you were listening to Andrew Branca, he's an attorney, and he's holding classes on the 27th of February about how to not get convicted for carrying a gun and defending yourself. See, we're talking all about the legal aspects of stuff. And there are judges out there. He was talking about ranting on this judge, Engelmeyer, that apparently is the one that put the brakes on Trump eliminating jobs and offering people payouts, and now apparently they've allowed it to go forward. But the fact is what this judge did, because he's an Obama appointee, constitutes bad behavior. And he was talking about there are other ways besides impeaching the judge. A simple majority of both House and Senate can remove a judge without impeachment proceedings based on bad behavior. And see, the thing is that all the Democrats of these different states came in, sent their law firms in. They had an ex parte in front of the judge. Trump administration's attorneys were not even summoned to the hearing. 1 o'clock in the morning, just like when the Romans convicted Christ in the middle of the night, sentenced him to death in the middle of the night. This judge, Engelmeyer, middle of the night, 1 o'clock in the morning, he issues this ruling. But nobody's paying attention because everybody's trying to get a good night's sleep. Yeah, good luck with that. But Doge, by the way, has reportedly made over $3.4 billion in cuts so far. Now, that's a far cry from what we need, because if we're spending $1 trillion a quarter, yeah, that's going to be problematic. I mean, that is a lot of money. That we're talking 100 billion times 10. So 3.4 is only a very, very, very minute amount of money. If we could shave $1 trillion, and I have a feeling that RFK Jr. is going to get to the bottom of a lot of this, and he's going to let Doge run wild in this thing, and so is the Treasury, because there's all sorts of money going to waste out there, and a lot of it is ending up back in these politicians' pockets, and that's why they're scared. Because Kash Patel, once he gets confirmed by the full Senate, and I believe he will, he'll start going in and cleaning clocks. First, he's going to start with the FBI. Now, he said that he wasn't going to turn it into a museum. You know, that's what he said. And of course, they all quoted him, and they're all scared half to death, which is why the vote was 12-10 to confirm him out of the Senate committee. Now it goes to the full Senate. And like I said, Mitch the Bitch McConnell will probably vote him out. He'll say either that or a no vote, or he'll vote against him. He'll show his true Democratic colors. This guy does not need to be in office anymore, folks. If you live in Kentucky and you hear the sound of my voice, you need to rally against this moron. He does not need to be in the Senate position anymore. He needs to be gone after this term is over. It's coming up. So, you got another big waste we're going to talk about here. $42 billion broadband boondoggle. You like that alliteration there? $42 billion broadband boondoggle. Billion broadband boondoggle. Say that about 3 times fast after drinking as many cups of coffee this morning as I have. Guess what? $42 billion gets spent to extend broadband access to all homes nationwide. Yep. 16 states to date still lack funding approval. And in its first 3 years of this program, guess how many homes have internet connections now? 0. $42 billion, and not one home is connected to the internet. You love this country, don't you? The way they waste money. Now I got to wonder, how many people got kickbacks out of that? Think about it. A memorandum directing review of federal funding for non-governmental organizations has been signed by the president recently. They're going to go out and they're going to start looking into all the funding these people are going to get, which means Catholic charities, you're screwed. Same with the Lutheran bunch out there. I forget what their name is, but you know, they're doing the same thing. They're bringing these immigrants into the country, finding places to house them. These people are operating, and I don't know what kind of ideology they're espousing, but what they're doing is not helping matters. In fact, they're breaking the law, and they need to be stopped and prosecuted. Other things happening of importance: Microsoft advertisers phished via malicious Google ads. That's the headline. just days after Malwarebytes uncovered a campaign targeting Google Ads accounts. Similar attack has surfaced, this time aimed at Microsoft advertisers. These ads are appearing on Google Search, designed to steal the login information of users trying to access Microsoft's ad platform. Man, is nothing sacred anymore? So much for the internet. Hey, you can blame Al Gore, okay? We'll be back with more news and your phone calls after these words on the Krieger Files. Stay with us. Be right back. Dave Krieger here. Are you having issues with your credit? With interest rates as high as they are now, this would be a great time to invest in yourself by getting a copy of the Credit Restoration Primer. So when mortgage home interest rates finally do come down, you'll have already taken the necessary steps to get your credit score where it needs to be so you can move forward in life. Thousands of consumers have benefited from the Credit Restoration Primer, and you can too. Go to cloudedtitles.com today.
Many Americans are growing increasingly concerned about the rapidly growing U.S. government deficits, recognizing the additional printing of paper money devalues U.S. currency. To compensate, American gold and silver coins will provide wealth protection. U.S. Coin Capital provides physical gold and silver coins delivered directly to our clients. You can reach us at 1-800-878-2646, uscoincapital.com.
Need a document notarized even when one or more of the signers is out of state? What a faster way to close your real estate deals by getting your documents professionally notarized online at professionalnotaryonline.com. For more information and to book an appointment, visit professionalnotaryonline.com or call Aaron at 941-400-8282. A trusted Krieger Files partner. Good in all 50 states. That's 941-400-8282.
Taking back America, one consumer at a time. It's the Krieger Files.
Okay, we're back 32 minutes after the hour. Told you, see, we got short commercial breaks, huh? See, you don't even have a chance to run and get coffee, just listen and sponsor the show. We need you to do that. Otherwise, like everything else, they go away. So we appreciate you going to the KriegerFiles.com. The archives are all there, so you can listen to the show and turn your friends onto it. And we have a little shop button. You go there and you shop. And every time you do that, it helps keep the show alive and kicking. And, our expenses aren't massive, which is unlike other shows that are out there. Ours are not that massive, but we get out there. We re-aggregate on 6 different platforms. So you got to love it. There's multiple ways of listening and watching the show. For those of you history buffs out there, today in 1945, Allied forces started the bombing runs over the German city of Dresden, beginning the process of destroying much of the metropolis and killing over 22,000 people. If you did not realize this, Dresden was a major center for Nazi Germany's rail and road network. The attack sought to overwhelm German authorities and services, clog their transportation routes, and terrorize the civilian population, which it did. It killed a lot of them. For some reason, much of today's political class they refuse to acknowledge that purposely killing innocent people is evil, but it is. Yeah, this is today's political class. They think it's okay to just jab everybody and put us in harm's way, which is exactly what the warmongers like Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, you know who they are, and they need to be voted out next term. Folks, the rhinos need to go. They need to go. And the Democrats need to go. If you want to clean it up and have a uniparty being a Republican constitutionalist party, then you need to be thinking about how at the state level you are going to run people that aren't part of deep state, that cannot be controlled by deep state. Because deep state apparently has blackmailed a lot of these people. And if you can find out which one of your congressmen and senators visited Epstein Island and they're blackmailing them because they were taking pictures of all these congressmen and senators having sex with minor kids. If you can find that out, you can run them out of office ahead of time and expose them for who they are. If that doesn't work, then you go after the tax and spend bills. How many bills did you vote on and what good did they do? Where'd that money go? How much kickback did you get? See, there's all sorts of ways to expose them in such ways that humiliates them and shames them out of office. That's how it works. But then you have to have somebody replace them that actually believes in the Constitution that can take us back to what our founding fathers intended. Seriously. I mean, that is important. 844-769-2944 is the phone number to call if you want to chime in. And of course, you know, one of the things that we suspect, the USDA, now we're out here with the USDA. They are now starting out a nationwide mass milk testing program because, now there's supposedly some sort of bird flu detected in Nevada dairy cows. So that justifies the USDA going out and testing all these cattle to see whether or not they're contaminated. And if so, I mean, because the strain was discovered in 6 herds. I mean, what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to just like slaughter all these cattle? Say, well, sorry, but you can't, take these to slaughter and you can't sell the meat because we don't want getting people contaminated. You got to love that, huh? All right. Got more news coming at you right now. Go to the phones. Dustin in Michigan. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Oh, pretty good, Dave. Pretty good. Hey, I was noticing your the Krieger Files YouTube channel. I watched a couple of those videos.
They haven't deleted me yet. Isn't that great? I mean, and thank you so much for that. Truth Social deleted me.
Well, I'm on an extremely limited bandwidth where my location is. And Rumble doesn't work for me. Truth Social doesn't work. Any of them things. I can view and comment on videos on YouTube. However, yours are locked from the comments. I wasn't sure if that was on purpose or if it was an oversight. But I know it helps to grow a channel if you can have people commenting on there. But
sure, I'll check into that. I'll have to. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'll check into that because I don't know why it's locked. I'll see about that, and if I can undo all those programs to allow comments to come in, we will do that.
Okay, that'd be very helpful. But
sure,
there's a lot of people that they kind of got it locked down on some of these extremely low bandwidth services. That's the only video service I can set for 144 on the pixels.
Right.
To be able to watch the video and have enough bandwidth to do it. Nothing else works. Rumble will sit there and just buffer forever and never play. Same thing with X videos, any of that. So just a tip out there, but I do appreciate you putting it out on it.
Well, I appreciate you listening to it and watching it on that program. So, I'm glad because of the fact that I talk so much about foreclosures. I talk about the economy. I talk about legal and financial issues. I try not to get involved in politics, but right now we're in the middle of this brouhaha and this fracas with the Senate, and we need to move this thing forward. So we quit talking about that and start talking about what's going to make this country great again, supposedly. I thought the country was always great.
Absolutely, Dave.
Yeah. I get sick of this.
To actually allow Trump to do his job, and a part of his job is us helping him along. Absolutely.
Yep. And so, again, I appreciate that and the vote of confidence in the show and your listening and especially your call this morning and contributing to that. We appreciate it so much. So what's going on in Michigan? Is it cold up there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been really, really cold and, we're kind of snowed in and that kind of stuff. But that's all right. I've got my solar panels mounted vertical this time of year, so they don't get snow piled on them. So I actually do have electric most of the time without having to run the generator, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it is. That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of hit me last year of I'm always going out here, taking the snow off of these solar panels and doggone it, what a hassle. Then I read a report. Some college students got together and said, well, instead of pointing them up at an angle at the south in the winter, why don't you just point them to the east and another half towards the west? And you'll really get it in the morning, and you'll really get it in the evening. That's the times when you need your batteries charged the most. You don't really need them charged in the middle of the day. You're not here doing anything anyway. So it made sense. I gave it a try, and it works great. I'm flabbergasted.
Oh, that's good. I mean, are they on the roof, or do you have them mounted on the ground?
No, they're mounted. Actually, what I did is I took an old C-band satellite dish, the ones that used to move, the great big ones, took the dish off of that mount, and I put my panels on there. So for quite a few years, I've just been moving them back and forth during the day. Well, once I read that report from these students, and I'm sorry, I don't remember what university it was, but it's out there on the internet. Anyway, I don't think they did it for, huge monetary gains or anything. They were just looking into somebody's theory. But they're vertical, and they're pointed towards the east on one side, and they're vertical, and they're pointed towards the west on the other. I don't have to remove snow or ice. Works great.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad you came up with a viable solution. I love it when you do that, and then you call and let us know. So those of you out there that have solar panel dilemmas, now you know. That's a good thing. I appreciate that. Anything else on your mind today, sir?
Well, yeah, I'll have to go with my Pong comment from a couple weeks ago. It's gotten even more intense. I feel like I'm some kid sitting in a bar back in the 70s watching the adults play Pong on the big screen, It's just moving everywhere all the time. It's just no stopping. That's good. That's what we need right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. As far as Mitch in Kentucky, yeah, we should probably have friends in Kentucky try to figure out a different option for that, obviously. But we've got election in Michigan for a senator coming up, too. And I'm thinking if we can deal with the corruption coming out of Wayne County, then we'll be able to deal with getting somebody that's not a Democrat in the Senate seat there.
Right. And for those,
that's what's been going on with our elections.
Of course. And see, for those of you that aren't familiar with Wayne County, that's where Detroit is. Okay. Just so you know. Oh, yeah. Oh,
they've got some very interesting things down there. If the voter rolls don't match the amount of voters or something like that, the state law says we can't get in there and audit or have any kind of a recount or whatever in those precincts in Wayne County. I don't know why that got codified that way or whatever for other than corruption reasons. So, these are some things that we need to work on locally, and I'm going to put the action call out there for other folks in Michigan to help out with these kind of things.
Well, I would, and if you're going to listen to the show tomorrow, Dustin, Steve Stern will be on, and he's doing an integrity and action call today, but it will be on Rumble Live, and I know that you don't get it, but he will be on the show tomorrow, and you are welcome to call in while he's on the air in the second half of the show like you're doing now and ask him questions, because he may come up with some really neat ideas for people in Michigan and how to fight all this.
Absolutely great. Thanks, Dave.
Sounds like
I'll let you get to your other callers are getting the time to call in, but they might run into the same kind of thing. I've called in several times, and it's really rare for it to actually get to the bringing to the studio part. I don't know what's up with that, but hopefully we can address that too.
Interesting. Yeah, I hope so too. And I appreciate your call. You have yourself a quality rest of the week and a good weekend, safe weekend, even with the weather the way it is. Now, of course, we're hearing about Army officials enlisting 346 soldiers on an average day in December of last year. And of course, this to them is a 15-year high. And a lot of it is because of the fact, it's one of the toughest jobs, trying to convince people to go in and serve in the military. I spent time in the military, and that was a long, long time ago. Yeah, remember that song. So, now that we are trying to get rid of DEI, according to Pete Hegseth, I'm hoping that more of you will take up the opportunity. Now, during wartime, it's not exactly, craziness, but it is a great way to get the GI Bill and get an education if you want, but you got to serve. And, you don't have to do a tour of duty just, once, and you get advantages. So, besides VA benefits and whatnot, if you get into permanent party status and all that good stuff, and then you manage to stay through your entire tour of duty. And with volunteer status the way it is now, you probably could get yourself into a fairly good line of work. If you've always dreamed of being a pilot, for example, there's probably positions available. There's a lot of people vying for them because once you get out and you've flown military and you're that good, the chances are you could get hired on by an airline. And see, right now they're in a real world of hurt as far as these DEI hires. I really think that it permeated the airline industry because the number of air accidents, the most recent being in Scottsdale, Arizona, Vince Neil from Motley Crue, his plane actually made it on the runway, but the whole front wheel came off, the whole gear came out, and then the plane slid down the highway, or down the runway rather, and slid into another Learjet. Didn't explode, thank God. Vince Neil's girlfriend and her friend and a couple other people were on board. Pilot was killed. Co-pilot was injured. 3 were taken to hospitals. 1 said, no, I'm okay, just let me go. But they checked him out anyway and let him go. But the thing is that, it could have been worse. But the plane was registered to the Motley Crue singer, frontman. So that was the most recent. We really need people in the cockpit that know what they're doing, okay? And obviously, it was one of these unforeseen things. When a landing gear goes, it goes, and you have to make the best of it. Can you steer out of the way? I don't know. What was going on in the cockpit? Once you get on the runway and that front wheel goes, you really lose control of your steering. I mean, you would think that would be the case, right? It's common sense. For those of you that like to sew your own clothes, you should know Joann Fabrics is planning on closing hundreds of stores across more than 40 states. They are seeking approval from the bankruptcy court. That's Chapter 11 for you. They want to shutter hundreds of underperforming stores across more than 40 states as part of their restructuring program. They filed in the U.S. District of Delaware Bankruptcy Court last month. And we're talking about hundreds of stores across the country. So the retailer has been a staple in the sewing and crafting industry for more than 80 years. I don't know what it is. Is it because everybody wants to go to Wally World and buy Chinese-made products? I remember when Sam Walton said Made in the USA was going to be it. But then, he died. And his family took over, and they came in and just ran roughshod all over that and brought in all these products from all over the world. Man, with all these tariffs and everything going on right now, I wonder how that's going to work. So, they will close the stores. So for those of you out there that are looking at fabric purchases, you might get a deal because they're going to try to liquidate inventory, and what they can't liquidate in the stores they're closing, they probably will load up on a truck and shift it to one of the stores that they're going to keep open and sell it there. So, one of these crazy things. Parents, understand right now that in health news, teens are spending more than 1.5 hours in school on their phones. That is a comprehensive study that is exposing teenagers' use of smartphones in the classroom, raising concerns about learning and social engagement. 1.5 hours glued to their mobile phone. And this isn't because they're calling 911 and saying we have an active shooter in the school. No, they're sitting there, social media, messaging, streaming, listening to videos in their headphones. They got the little earbuds in their ears, and they're not paying attention. And the teachers, could care less. They're getting paid a salary, And when they're not molesting your kid, which they may very well be doing, or having sex with your teenager, I mean, really, with the number of females, and the males, not so much. The females, I'm shocked. I never had a teacher that was like that when I was going to school, but times have changed. And with this DEI hiring and all of this garbage now with Satan running rampant all over the earth, you've got all these women teachers out there that think it's okay to, oh, yeah, well, you know, they're young and they're virile and I can have sex with them. And so, you know, these teenagers become their personal playground. And this is a problem because some of these teachers, I mean, they're throwing parties and getting kids drunk. And some of the parents are showing up at these parties and partying with the teacher, and they're getting busted. I don't know, other than, you know, the phone thing, this is what prompts a lot of the teachers, because when the kid's got a smartphone and he's got it in school, guess what the teacher can do? She gets on her smartphones and says, hey, you want to see something cool? And then, you know, sexting becomes the common thing. And she starts showing her body parts, trying to turn the student on. And of course, the parents are totally oblivious to all this. This is how it starts. They start sending subtle messages over the texts. And the kids are reading it going, oh, man, the teachers, oh, yeah, then you got David Lee Roth singing Hot for Teacher, right? Yeah, you know, because the teacher started it. I mean, do you remember when you went to school, there were certain teachers you had a crush on, maybe? Yeah, that didn't, I had teachers I was fond of, but not to crush level. But there are some that they have a crush on the teacher. I mean, you know, the younger they are, they just think the teacher's wonderful. And see, in this day and age, the teachers can be just totally off in left field, and that's what scares me as a parent. And I would worry about that, you know, because I have kids. I know you're going, what? Krieger's got kids. Oh my God. Can you imagine, you know, they're bringing their dates home to meet me? Yeah, no, we're past that, folks. Don't worry about it. Just perish. Strike that thought. It is, you know, something humorous here. But, you know, see, here's the thing. If the pediatric studies are saying that, and they're polling, and they're talking about kids 13 to 18 years of age. I mean, English speaking, being a primary user or owner of a smartphone. How is it that we're doing this? Other countries, they're literally killing smartphone use in the schools. Why aren't we doing that here? Why aren't we telling kids, I'm sorry, but you can't have that turned on and use? Yeah, we're going to put you in detention. We're going to take your cell phone away and put it on the desk during detention. You can come get it when it's over. And we'll keep you in detention, and it's going to reflect poorly on your grades. And we're going to have a conversation with your parents. See, this is where it gets really weird. And it's all because of cell phones, because we're so into using the smartphone. It's like a miniature computer for those of you who don't or are not real cognizant of that. The Rutherford Institute, John Whitehead, we've had him on the show before. We'll have him on again. We are sleepwalking into tyranny. And he has an article out about how power is silently being seized, how something is done. Just as important. Talk to the cashiers. Nobody talks to the cashiers most of the time. And see, remember when the cashiers used to have that plastic shield in front of them? And I used to go over and say, oh, people aquarium, you know, because I could look through and like, that's going to help you. And all these people, you know, did you get the shot? Did they mandate you get the shot? Oh, you poor thing. Why are you wearing a mask still? Are you sick? I'm sorry. See, I will even say that unintentionally. You know, I'll ask the cashier if they're wearing a mask. I'll say, are you okay? And they'll say, yeah, why? Well, you were wearing a mask. I thought you might be sick. I'm sorry. And they're like, oh, no, it's fine. But why are you wearing the mask? See, that's what they don't want to answer. They don't want to answer why they're doing it. Because I'm a faithful follower of the government. And I believe everything the government says. Yes, I believe in Uncle Sam. And everything Uncle Sam says, I believe. Yeah, you see, there are people out there that they can't fix stupid. And there's a lot of elderly out there that are that way. And you go into any place that's offering these vaccines, and Medicare will pay for it, don't worry. And you see these people, and they're filling out these waiver forms. Yeah, they tell them they're safe and effective, yet they make you fill out a form that basically says you don't hold the person doing the vaccinating liable if they accidentally jab you in the vein, which that has happened, and they shoot the stuff directly into your bloodstream, and all of a sudden you start seizing up there in the store and falling on the ground. And see, that's why they put you there for 30 minutes and make you wait after you get the jab, because they want to make sure you're not going to seize up and do anything crazy like stop breathing. So we have this totalitarian bind that our government seems to adhere to. And of course, a lot of the left is involved in this. This is why Schumer and Maxine Waters and Pelosi and all those people, I don't know why they keep voting him in office. I mean, who's kissing whose derriere here? What have they done for the people? Nothing. What have they done for themselves? Everything. The government's past efforts sidestep the rule of law, and they pale in comparison to what's unfolding right now, which is nothing less than the complete dismantling of every last foundational principle for a representative government that has to answer to us, we the people. Now, this is John Whitehead. In his article here, you probably need to go to the Rutherford.org. We'll get you there. Rutherford, you can spell that. It's like, the President Hayes' first name, Rutherford B. Burchard. Did you know his middle name was? Rutherford Burchard Hayes. Yeah. I think I got one of his dinner bells hanging out somewhere here. My parents scored and went to his summer home, and I don't know what they were doing, but they managed to acquire one of his dinner bells, a big clanking dinner bell. It's kind of a neat thing. This is no longer, by the way, whatever the justifications for discarding or even temporarily chucking the constitutional framework and protocols that have long served our interests or the foundations of our republic. First off, let's not ever forget that we have a republic. We don't have a democracy. They will say, yes, we have representative democracy, but we really have a constitutional republic. This is no longer a conversation about stolen elections, insurrections, or even the deep state. This has become a lesson in how quickly things can fall apart and why we need to guard the Constitution. We're out of time for today, but in the meantime, we'll be back tomorrow with Steve Stern. In the meantime, God bless you and God bless the United States of America. See you then.
With inflation constantly chewing away at the value of paper money, perhaps it's time for Americans to bite back. Ownership of gold and silver coins provides great counterbalance to weaker paper money value. U.S. Coin Capital provides physical gold and silver coins. You can reach us directly at 1-800-878-2646, uscoincapital.com.
Need a document notarized even when one or more of the signers is out of state? What a faster way to close your real estate deals by getting your documents professionally notarized online at professionalnotaryonline.com. For more information and to book an appointment, visit professionalnotaryonline.com or call Aaron at 941-400-8282. A trusted Krieger Files partner. Good in all 50 states. That's 941-400-8282. Dave Krieger here. Are you having issues with your credit? With interest rates as high as they are now, this would be a great time to invest in yourself by getting a copy of the Credit Restoration Primer. So when mortgage home interest rates finally do come down, you'll have already taken the necessary steps to get your credit score where it needs to be so you can move forward in life. Thousands of consumers have benefited from the Credit Restoration Primer, and you can too. Go to cloudedtitles.com today.
Broadcasting to the U.S. and around the world by way of clear digital audio, 22,500 miles above the planet. This is the Global Star Radio Network.